There have been 2 situations where somebody tried to fight me. No, 3. It actually happened 4. It happens a good amount. And it's always on some like alpha male bullshit where they see me smiling too much or having a good time. And they like some girls around them. Or they want to feel like they're bigger or alpha. And then they choose to pick a fight with me. It happens a lot. You could see it a mile away when it's happening. They try to fuck with you. In Singapore, it happened where there's this guy, like you could tell he was loaded, like he was rich, and he was at a bottle service table, and all the homies there, like all the people at the bottle service thing, were literally like giving us shots. They liked us. They liked me, my brother, Toph, and Vish. They were giving us shots, so we were enjoying it, blah, blah, blah. And then this dude at that table is just staring at me the whole time, just at me, staring at me. And then I realized after what it was, is that he paid for all the drinks at the table, and his friends were giving us drinks, and he was getting mad because he pays for all his friendships, right? He doesn't actually feel like anyone really likes him, so he uses his money to buy his friendships. And of course, that doesn't really work because no one really gave a shit about him at that table. They were handing out all his drinks. They weren't spending any time with him. They were just hanging around amongst themselves. Like, you could just see it a mile away. And he was getting pissed off that this guy was getting drinks from his friends and people like these other people, but not him. So he comes up and then he stands next to me while the music is happening, because this is a club. And then like he's any movement he makes, he's like, right? He like bumps into me, right? And like he's standing there and he just starts doing this and he starts hitting my shoulder. And I'm like, okay. And then like I have my drink on me. And then he bumps into me, and my drink spills. I'm like, okay, and then, like, instead of walking away, I firmly planted my feet, and I was like, I'm going to stand right here. And I just stay there with my drink. And it's like, bumps. I'm like, nope, I'm staying right here. He bumps. I'm like, nope, I'm staying right here. And I just stand there. And then eventually, he bumps me so hard that I slip on the drink that I had been spilling on the floor. So I, like, slip. I fall, and then I immediately get up, and then I go into his face, and I don't know why I did this, okay? Like, I think there's some, like, deep down, like, guy that enjoys fighting somewhere deep inside me. But, like, I slip, immediately stand up, and then I put my hands behind my back, and I put my face in his face, and then I go, is there a problem? Right? And I don't know why I did that. I think, like, subconsciously, I was trying to communicate that I am 0% afraid of him, that I know he's not going to hit me, and I put my hands behind my back, and then I go, is there a problem? In his drunken state, he goes, yeah, you. Then I start, like, staring at him and smiling, right? Like, this is what I do. Like, I'm not looking at him trying to scare him. I'm, like, smiling in his face, and I'm, like, cracking up. And then his friends like walk up and they separate him because they saw this whole thing happen, and I'm just like laughing as he's getting pulled away by his friends. And then I stay there and I go back to like Vish and my brother, and I just keep drinking like nothing happened. And then I feel a little clink, and then another clink, and then I realize that this guy, this fucking child, is literally grabbing ice from his like bottle service table and throwing ice cubes at me. I'm like cracking up. Like, I'm not even mad about this. I'm like dying. This is hilarious. He's like, like, I think at one point he like grabbed a napkin and he threw it, and it's just floating there. I'm like, like, what are you doing, dude? This is ridiculous. And he's like throwing shit at me. And then security had to come by, and you knew security didn't want to kick him out because this guy's loaded. Like, you know that security actually knows him. So, like, they weren't about to kick me out because they know I wasn't doing anything. Also, in Singapore, at clubs, they tend to put a lot of value on foreigners. It's like this nightlife thing where if you are a foreigner, if you're from the States, they want you in their club because it makes their club look cooler. So it's like they value you. I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but they didn't even try to kick me out. They didn't even try to tell me anything, even though he was the rich guy and all that. They just kind of were telling him, it's like, you need to relax. They were just trying to calm him down, and they never said anything to me because they could see I wasn't instigating anything. And like, yeah, dude is just fucking throwing shit. And like, that's an example of somebody just wanting to be alpha and just trying to pick a fight with somebody who's just smiling a lot and shit. I don't know where this shit comes from, chat. Like, I don't know what brings this out of me when like somebody is trying to fight or somebody's trying to start shit. Like, I just have some instinctual way of responding. I don't plan on it. I don't think about it. It just fucking pops out of nowhere. I don't know where it comes from. Like, the idea of me putting my hands behind me and putting my face in his, like I'm not scared. I've never thought of that. I don't know why I did that. It was badass, though. I'm glad I did. And, like, I wonder when I do it and when I don't. Like, in only one instance was it a dude that was bigger than me. But even then, like, I still talk to them the same way. I'm like, are you good? Are you fine? Like, I'll ask them that. And then they usually, like, just start backing down or something. Like, they're waiting for a certain thing. They're waiting. When people try to fight with you, they're waiting for two things. Either one, for you to be scared, and then they push on that fear. Or two, they want you to get aggressive so they have a reason to start the fight. If you give them neither of those two things, they don't know what to do with you. And they kind of just fucking back down a little bit. I'm not a flight person because I do believe that most people are not actually trying to fight. I have a way of telling when somebody is about that life and when they're not. Like that fucking kid, that rich kid at the Singapore place, he was not about that life. He's not. There are others who are, but they're not going to fight you there either. Right? And then there are people who are just fucking loco. They will kill you. And like, you could tell that a mile away. I don't fuck with those people. Like I will just walk away. I'm like, nah, we're good. So this happened actually recently at a tournament where I can't believe I haven't talked about this. So at a SoCal local, Lawless, I went there and this is while I was training for chess boxing. So I had all my boxing gear in the front seat because I had come back from training or something and I just had it there, right? So like this block is a little shady, right? It's a little shady. It's a little dimly lit. It's not the best area, which is chill, but as I parked behind the only parking spot that was available, which is behind a massive truck, right? So it's very out of sight. This parking spot, my car, compared to this, I'm talking like a semi truck, not like a, redneck truck. I'm talking like a semi, kind of the same thing, I guess. I don't know. But anyways, I was parked behind this truck, so I was very much out of sight. I was in the dark, right? And I parked there. And then as I park and I walk out of my car, I want to put all my boxing stuff in the trunk. And I walk out of my car, ready to do this. And then this guy walks by. When I first see him, I don't know who he is. He looks a little gangster, right? Like he's got like a really baggy jersey, a like baggy jacket. He looks tough. And then he walks by me, goes, "What's up?" And then I go, "Yo, what's up?" Right? And that's it. I'm like, cool. Like, even if they are a gangster, it doesn't matter to me because I'm not starting shit with them. They're not starting shit with me. It actually doesn't matter. But I'm just noticing, like, what's going on here. Like, I'm just keeping an eye on my surroundings. He keeps walking by me, and then I'm walking to grab my stuff. And then now I'm thinking, wait, this guy's literally going to see me put all this equipment in my trunk. Now I don't know if I should do it because I don't want my car getting broken into. I don't want him to even see me looking like I'm putting anything that might be valuable in my trunk. There's only one reason you take shit out of the front seat, put it in your trunk, is because you don't want people to see it. So even if he didn't know what it was, he might think there's something valuable in the trunk and he might, break the glass, get in there. So now I'm sitting there stalling and thinking, I kind of want to move my car somewhere else. And then as I'm thinking this, the guy walks by the car and then he looks back and then he keeps walking. And then he looks back again, right? He looks back 3 times. And then he turns around and starts walking towards my car again. And I'm like, well, now I'm in this weird spot where I got to pretend I wasn't doing what I was about to do. And I'm just going to pretend I'm like thinking about something. So I just sat there like I'm thinking, whatever. And he walks by me. And now he's like staring as he's walking by me and like literally turning his whole head as he's staring at me. And then he walks like 10 feet away, pivots, turns back around towards me. And then he goes, "Yo, is there a fucking problem?" And that's what he says to me. He's like, "Is there a fucking problem?" And then I go, "Nah, we're good." And then he goes, that's what I fucking thought. And like, then he starts getting like real aggressive, right? He's like, that's what I fucking thought. And I was like, yep, no problem here, dude. We're chilling. We're good. And then he starts like cussing as he's walking away. And then that's when I was like, cool. I got into the car, turned it on, drove away, and then I parked in the actual venue parking lot. I never park in there because there's never spots, but I looked for one this time. Because I'm like, this guy's not going to do this in public. He's not going to follow me there. He's not going to like hassle me in public. But out there, something could happen. He could break into my car, etc. And then there's a reason I also didn't step up to him. It's like, one, this guy's clearly very irritable for any reason. Like, this guy is ready to do some shit. Two, he had a really, really baggy jacket on. So I have no idea what he could possibly have on him, weapon-wise. I didn't. Number three, everything about him told me that he was about that life. Like, he was somebody who would actually, he wasn't trying to scare me. He was ready to fight or worse, right? You see what I'm saying? Like, other people, they try to push your buttons to see what you do. He wasn't trying to push my buttons. In fact, the first thing he did was walk by me and say, what's up? And I say, what's up? And that was satisfactory to him. And then he was ready to move on. He wasn't trying to start anything. But the fact that I hesitated and was looking like I was trying to hide something from him made him feel disrespected or angry or something. So he wasn't looking for shit. And then he ended up finding it. Even though his interpretation of that situation, in my opinion, is way extreme. In his world, this is a reason to go off, and he was ready to go off, right? He literally walked back, looked at me, etc. And I'm like, nope, this guy is actually trying to start some shit. I will acknowledge that, and I'm not gonna do my whole hands behind my back saying you got a problem. Like, that's not gonna happen here. I know that he's ready to kill somebody. I'm like, you could just read the room. Not worth it. Not worth it at all. And who knows what he has on him? He could have had a gun very easily. Now, like, you give me a different situation, right? Let's say my little sister's with me, and then he, like, actually, like, threatens her, then it has to happen, right? Like, the fight or whatever has to happen, right? But here, it's like, I'm alone. I could just move my car somewhere. Nobody's life is on the line except our own. Like, this is just unnecessary. Flight or fight is not necessary whatsoever. We could just leave. There are situations, right, where I know that they're not actually about that life, and I'm just not gonna let them talk some stupid shit. I'm gonna, like, challenge them on it. Yeah, I think for sure he probably had some kind of weapon. I don't even know where I got any of my awareness from, but I feel like I'm very good at reading these types of situations, and I can tell you if someone's gonna start shit or if they're just fucking peacocking. Anyways, all right. With that, peace. Good night. Later. I'm gonna hit y'all with one yayas for the sub. Yayas! Promise me that when I'm done streaming, you're gonna go touch grass. Everyone's giving me their reasons. I'm sorry, I'm just fucking around, okay? I'm the loser who's here streaming.